Are you feeling tense in your spine and pressed and contracted? You might have some aches in your lower back, upper back, or your neck. This little tutorial will be perfect for you. We are conjuring, we are inviting in a length in the joints. So creating space within the joints to create relief in your body. The element that we're working with in this little tutorial is the element of space. And in Anusara Yoga, at the beginning of every new project, of every new yoga pose, every new phase of life, we take a moment and let go and just kind of, even when we want to get things done, it's really important to just give ourselves some space. So that's the approach that we'll have today. So go ahead and stand and begin to bend your knees and place the hands at the top of your femur bones. All right, so what you're doing here is you're creating traction in your spine. So press the backs of your, press the heels of your hands into the thigh and make sure you're trying to hinge at your hips. So if you're rounding your spine, you're still putting pressure on the lower back. So see if you can lift your dinosaur tail or your golden doodle tail up in the air. So stick your butt out so that you can create length in your spine. All right, so see if you can straighten your arms. It depends on your proportions, whether or not you're able to straighten them all the way. It doesn't really matter. What we're looking for is a sense of length through the spine. And begin to deepen your inhale. Inhale. And exhale. Feel free to sigh. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. All right, slowly release out. We're going to apply this to other joints in our body, and we're just simply applying some traction here. So take your hand and encircle your wrist and give a nice little gentle tug. It's more a hug and a tug. And then see if you can grip a little bit higher up. We're targeting the elbow joint here. Okay, and if you want to give yourself a little massage, you press quite strongly and draw the hand down. All right, you could do this with every finger. In fact, let's do it together. Okay, so notice the difference between the right and the left. Okay, and then do this side. So encircle the wrist, pull. Encircle the lower arm and pull. Massage down and create length in your fingers. Let's do the shoulders. Roll your shoulders. Again, what we're doing here is creating space in the joints. So this is just a really good way of getting unstuck. The source of this, what we're doing here, is a combination of Anusara Yoga and joint mobility. So mobility training. So you're rolling your shoulders, lift your shoulders up to your ears, pull them back, push them down, shrug them forward, up, back, down, forward. Elevate, retract, depress, protract. Elevate, retract, depress, protract. And then you can switch sides, do each of the shoulders separately. Nice. Okay, take a moment and move your neck in circles. Neck in a big circle. Do it slowly. I always hear the snap, crackle, pop here. It'll get better. Okay, and so circle the head in the other direction. Let's create traction in the neck. So this is where the skull sits on the cervical spine. We're going to create space here. So literally, Anusara Yogis, this here is skull loop. So actually, I'm taking the back of my skull and pulling it up and back. So this is a nice relief. A lot of us have compressed tops of the cervical spine because we're constantly sitting in forward head or screen neck. Okay, so this is a good antidote to that. Create space here. All right, release. Roll it up. Shake it out. Now, what we're doing here is, okay, roll it out, shake it out. Let's throw in a little bit of a mindset. So Even if life is really overwhelming and dense and heavy, bringing space in can be done in many ways. So we just started with manual spacifying. Now we're going to use mental emotional layer, target the mental and emotional layer. And it might seem silly. So if you're embarrassed, go in a room by yourself and try this out. It is called Oh, How Wonderful. So it's how wonderful. So you inhale, oh, and then how wonderful. And so you might say it, you might not, but it is this lifting of the rib cage, which enhances the inhale. And then stay tall as you lower, let the arms float down. So it's all very soft. Inhale, exhale. Maybe put on a smile, inhale, and exhale. Last one, inhale and exhale. Good. So I'm going to add one thing. Let's apply this to yoga poses. Think of yoga poses that require a neutral or long spine. So that would not be crow pose, for example. A crow pose is a flexed spine. But what are the poses? So one of the poses, simple ones, one is all fours. So see if you can come to all fours, have your hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, and see if you can be nice and long. In fact, if you want to, try to ensure that, do the same thing that you did earlier and press the hand into the top thigh and lengthen your spine here. Other side. Nice. Stay nice and long. And then let's take it up a notch. Plank pose. So you want to have that neutral spine here, bending the knees, lifting the tailbone up, engaging the core. There are a lot of things that go along with supporting a spacious spine, which come in other tutorials, okay? So there's obviously the core, which is more of a fire element, but see if you can keep this light. If you're feeling super compressed, come back down, shake out the hands. See if you can get a springy feeling through the hands. All of this is great for any kind of yoga pose, any practice, and also for your everyday life. It's also good for preparing for advanced yoga poses. In my Elements of Spring retreat, we are going to practice Anusara Yoga with very methodical way of integrating the elements, just like we're doing here. And there's always going to be the option in every day in our 5-day retreat to try out the advanced asanas, including inversions, handstands, headstands, with this new, integrating this new element. If you're not there yet, you don't take a different pose. So I'm gonna give you an example. So we have plank here. If this is too much, you bring the knees down. If this is, if you wanna go further, you can take it into the side plank, okay? So I'll teach you how to do that. Nice and long spine. Imagine you're actually in the air and you're hanging from the head, you're in traction here. And so you want your crown of your head to move in the opposite direction from your tailbone, nice and long. Top arm lifts. Woo! It's a lot on the bottom arm. So notice that, and then come out when you're ready. Switch sides. Okay, so in order to be safe in side plank, there are some prerequisites which we'll teach you on other days, but you want to really push the floor, slide your shoulder blades away from your ears, and then go into flip the heels to the left. And ideally, you want the hand not vertical, but diagonal here, arm diagonal. Lifting the right arm up, nice long spine, breathe here. And then come out. Let's apply this to headstand, okay? So come onto, make a fist with one hand and encircle the fist with the other. Pull the shoulders away from your ears. Place the hands. Make sure you are using your shoulder width. So this is how you find out the shoulder width, okay? So from here, come into plank. You might just stay here. This is a nice core exercise. And then start walking the feet forward. And you might just stay here. Push the floor away. And then press the head into the hands, like back of the hands. And then see if you can cultivate a sense of lightness here. Oh, how wonderful. Nice and light. So this is very much a mind project at the moment. So I'm really pressing my arms down into the earth to create lightness in my neck. Now extend your left leg or your right leg. One leg up, the other leg. Woo! And then come on down. Woo! And in order to come out and reestablish the element of space in your neck, you'd come down, create traction in your neck. And so use it manually, do it manually. And then sit up. So this is a snapshot of something that we do over 6 hours in a day. And we use a lot of techniques, a lot of tools to get the body strong and open. One other thing we do on the space day is we use a load in order to create traction in our joints. So I'm going to just show you what that is going to look like. And this is how you could also train. So this is how you can train for the 5-day Anusara Yoga and Strength Retreat. This here is $30. So you might acquire one of these steel maces. If you don't have a mace, you could even use for this purpose a kettlebell or any other weight, or even just your fist, okay? So, but I'll show it with this. And you're gonna take this mace and put it at the back of the mat, and you're gonna walk forward and grab the mace, turn the arm in, and then turn it out. There's a lot that goes into working with mace, but I'm just going to show you, and I'm going to invite you to try this out. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a hip hinge, so and allowing the spine to stay long. And then you grab the mace, maybe halfway, maybe like this is a lot, so you could choke up a little bit, and then straighten the legs and let the mace float forward. This is called front swing in Steel Mace Vinyasa, which is I'm a certified coach in Steel Mace Vinyasa, this is a really great tool for functional movement. So swing forward and backward. And notice here, so keep the length in the spine and notice so make sure that shoulder stays back and down. And you'll find some interesting stretching that goes on here. And also creating space in the elbow, in the shoulder joint. And now let's go to side 2. So place the mace here and then switch it to the other side. There's another way of switching, which is switching through the front. So you could try that as well. Okay, but let's start here. Place the mace down, hinge at your hip, grab the mace in an internal rotation like that, and then externally rotate, turn the arm out. And then snap the hip. So straighten your legs and swing it forward, and then bend the knees, swing it back. Okay, swing, swing, swing. You'll get the hang of it, and then it becomes nice because you don't really have to, there's a lot of things you're cultivating, strengthen the glutes and all the, there's alignment that needs to happen here, but you don't have to concentrate on how to execute it at a certain point, which is when something called flow state sets in. And swinging is always swinging itself, so go ahead and place the mace down. Swinging is a wonderful way to regulate the nervous system. Children love swinging. We should be on swings much more often. This is a relative of swinging where you have this uplift, right? And there's also something called the front swing where you swing forward and backward. And then switch sides. Okay, from here, let's just place this down. Take a moment and feel into your system. Maybe close your eyes, and you could put the mace by the side so you don't have to worry about it falling. Place one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest, and feel into your system. Feel the stability in your legs. Connection to the ground, and then A sense of spaciousness in your joints, in your spine, your neck, your shoulders, your lower back, your arms, your elbows, your fingers. And just let the hands hang down. Take a few more moments to take a deep breath in and a relaxed breath out. Inhale. Oh, how wonderful. Last one. Inhale. Namaste.